There is a man in a cabin in northern Montana who does not know who the current president of the United States is. To the modern world, he looks like a selfish, uneducated dropout. But cognitive science has just revealed something deeply unsettling. His brain might be the only one left that is actually functioning normally. Most people believe that staying informed is a civic duty, a badge of intelligence. We wake up, reach for our phones, and immediately inject the chaos of 8 billion strangers directly into our nervous systems before our eyes have even adjusted to the morning light. But the modern news circuit was never designed to inform you. It was engineered to hijack your amygdala. Every red headline, every breaking news siren is designed to trigger the exact same evolutionary response as a predator rustling in the bushes 10,000 years ago. Your heart rate spikes, your cortisol rises, your focus fractures. Except in the wild, the predator eventually left. Today, the predator lives in your pocket 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a very specific class of people has realized that the only way to win this game is to refuse to play it. If you look closely at the person who refuses to watch the news, you will notice a specific kind of quietness around them. They do not carry the ambient vibration of anxiety that seems to follow everyone else. But this is not a product of luck. It is a biological boundary. The human brain was engineered to survive in small, tight-knit tribes. For 99% of human history, your nervous system was only designed to process the problems, the grief, and the threats of about 150 people, the neighbor's ruined crop, a sick child, an approaching storm. These were problems your brain could categorize, feel empathy for, and most importantly, do something about. But when you turn on the screen today, that ancient evolutionary architecture is instantly shattered. Within 10 minutes, you are forced to witness a famine in East Africa, a stock market crash in Tokyo, a brutal crime in a city 3,000 miles away, and a political scandal that you have absolutely no power to influence. Psychologists call the result of this compassion fatigue. It is the moment the human nervous system simply runs out of fuses. Your brain was never meant to carry the weight of a bleeding planet, and when you force it to, it doesn't make you more informed, it just makes you numb. And here lies the great paradox. Because when a person decides to pull the plug, to walk away from this sensory overload, the society around them rarely reacts with understanding. They are labeled. They are called apathetic, ignorant, privileged. We are told that turning a blind eye to the world's suffering is a form of moral cowardice, that we have a responsibility to witness the pain of others, even if we are entirely powerless to ease it. So the quiet person at the office table who doesn't know about the latest viral outrage is looked down upon, as if they are missing a crucial piece of what makes them a responsible citizen. But is it actually cowardice? If you look beneath the surface of this decision, you will find something that is not passive at all. It is a calculated, highly aggressive act of self-defense. Because the people who refuse to watch the news have not stopped caring about reality. They have simply realized a terrifying truth that the rest of the world is too distracted to see. But if you ask the person who has quieted their screens why they did it, they will rarely give you a complex psychological defense. They might just shrug, smile, and tell you they were tired of the noise. They make it sound like a lifestyle choice, like switching to a new diet or cleaning out a cluttered garage. But do not be fooled by the casual explanation. Behind that quiet shrug is a highly sophisticated, almost ruthless act of cognitive boundary setting. In the modern landscape, we are taught to believe that attention is free. We throw it at every notification, every trending scandal, every emergency broadcast, believing that we have an infinite supply of focus. But your attention is not a renewable resource. It is the raw material of your sanity. And when you analyze the daily routine of the unreachable, you begin to see a pattern. They do not wake up to a simulation of the world's problems. They wake up to their own kitchen, the sound of water heating, the cold air hitting the floorboards. They have traded the global panic for the immediate physical reality of their own space. They are not ignoring the world because they are weak. They are protecting the only territory where they actually possess the power to act. Think about the psychological mechanics of this choice. When you spend your day consuming events you cannot change, your brain slowly slip-slides into a state called learned helplessness. You watch a crisis unfold across the ocean, your stress response fires, and then nothing happens. You cannot intervene. You cannot fix the pipe. You cannot stop the storm. Your brain learns that effort is useless, that anxiety is the only response to reality. The person who turns off the news is actively breaking this cycle. By shrinking their world, they are expanding their agency. But this is where the investigation takes a sharp, uncomfortable turn. Because while this selective ignorance looks like the ultimate form of self-control, it often hides an ancient silent cost that almost nobody is willing to admit. Here is the plot twist that most advocates of the digital detox will never tell you. The complete refusal to look at the world is not always born from a place of supreme confidence and inner peace. Sometimes it is a trauma response disguised as wisdom. When you look deeply into the history of the extreme isolationist, the person who doesn't just limit their news intake, but violently locks the door against the outside world, you often find a nervous system that was shattered long before the internet was invented. It is the psychology of the fragile container. They did not build a fortress because they loved the quiet. They built it because they are terrified that if even one more drop of chaos enters their space, the glass will finally break. Their peace is real, yes, but it is a peace maintained by hypervigilance. They must constantly police their environment. They must screen their calls, avoid certain conversations, and keep their social circles incredibly small because they no longer trust their own capacity to process difficult emotions. It is a beautiful cage, but it is still a cage. They have traded the chaotic, painful growth of living in a shared world for the sterile safety of a controlled environment. And this is the hidden tragedy of the selective dropout. In their desperate bid to escape the manipulation of the modern media machine, they have allowed that very machine to dictate the exact boundaries of their freedom. They are still reacting to the noise. They are just doing it by running in the opposite direction. And this brings us to the deepest layer of the unreachable mind, the moment of confrontation. Because if you strip away the social judgment, the labels of apathy, and even the defensive armor of old trauma, you are left with a raw, undeniable truth. The person who refuses to watch the news has made a discovery that most of modern society is too terrified to face. They have realized that the feeling of being informed is a cheap, chemical substitute for actually being alive. We devour the news because it gives us a temporary rush of moral superiority. We feel like we are participating in history by merely reacting to it. We post, we argue, we worry, and we mistake our elevated heart rates for meaningful action. But it is a ghost game. You cannot fix a geopolitical crisis from your living room sofa. You cannot heal a broken economy by staring at a screen until your eyes burn at 3 a.m. By refusing to consume the manufactured panic, the selective dropout is reclaiming the only thing that ever truly belonged to them: their sovereignty. They have decided that their peace of mind is not a public utility. It is not a resource to be mined by tech companies and media conglomerates looking to sell advertisements off the back of their adrenaline spikes. They have traded the illusion of global awareness for the reality of local impact. They are the ones who actually have the energy to mend their own fences, to listen to their neighbors without political filters, and to keep their own homes standing when the cultural winds blow hard. They did not run away from the world. They simply returned to the only part of it they can actually save. But as the noise of the modern world continues to accelerate, a new question begins to form. A question that most of us are quietly avoiding. If we spend our entire lives reacting to the storm on our screens, what happens to the world right in front of our eyes? What happens to the quiet skills, the slow conversations, and the capacity to sit in a room without the constant injection of electronic panic? The choice to disconnect is not just about avoiding anxiety. It is a silent vote for a different version of humanity, one where your worth is not measured by how much outrage you can accumulate in a single day, but by the depth of your presence in the room you are currently standing in. And perhaps that is what we find so disturbing about these unreachable people. They are a mirror. They force us to look at our own hyper-connected, deeply fractured lives and ask ourselves, if we turned off the screens today, who would we actually be? It is a difficult thing to sit with. And for most people, The silence of that question is far more terrifying than the loudest breaking news broadcast. And if you want to understand the psychological rules governing those who choose to live in a completely analog way, you should listen to our next archive. We have just opened a new investigation into a behavior that the modern world considers completely irrational. Why do some people spend hours of a Saturday afternoon trying to fix an old, broken machine when they could easily buy a new one for just a few dollars? The answer has nothing to do with saving money. It is a quiet, psychological rebellion against planned obsolescence and disposable convenience. The report on the psychology of those who prefer to repair rather than replace is now open. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now to decode the mind of the modern restorer and discover why refusing to discard things is, in fact, the ultimate proof of human dignity and resilience we have left. We will see you there.